The King Opera House in Van Buren was built in the late 19th century, but didn't get famous from the shows it hosted or its beautiful interior, but instead the Opera House is noted for its connection to a murder, and there are rumors that it is haunted by the murdered actor. It all began with actor Charles Tolson, who was the owner of the Tolson Stock Company, which was a traveling acting troupe. The troupe had just finished a week of performances at the King Opera House in September 1903, and they were headed out of town to go to another performance. They headed to the train station, and when Tolson made his way to the ticket window, someone called out his name. Dr. William Parman, a well-known local doctor, emerged and shot Tolson with his revolver. Tolson was shot in the hip and the chest, and he was taken to the Fort Smith Hospital. But it was too late, and he died from his injuries. Dr. Parchman's motive for the incident was that he believed his 17-year-old daughter was in love with Tolson, was planning on running away with him, even though Tolson was married and his wife was a member of the acting troupe. Tolson knew Dr. Parchman and his daughter Allie, but there was no proof that he had any intention of eloping with the girl. Parchman was acting based on the information given to him by a vinegar salesman who may have had an interest in the young girl. Parchman was found not guilty of the murder despite there being multiple witnesses. Interestingly, both Allie and the vinegar salesman left town and were not present for the trial. It's said that Tolson's ghost haunts the King Opera House, which was the location of his last performance. Today, the Opera House is a contributing property to the Van Buren Historic District, listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It isn't currently open to the public, but is available to be rented out. In at number 4, we have Toltec Mounds. The Toltec Mounds is a famous historical site in Arkansas and is a National Historic Landmark, one of 4 in the Arkansas State Park system, and this park is the largest and most complex mound site in the state. Arkansas was once the home of a group of people referred to as the Plum Bayou culture by archaeologists and historians. Their existence in the area is a bit of a mystery. These people were not related to the Toltec tribes from Mexico, despite the site's name. The Plum Bayou culture also cannot be traced to any other group of people living in the area when the tribe was active. A total of 18 mounds have been identified in the area, all built between 650 and 1050 AD. One mound stands 49 feet high and another at 39 feet, with many smaller mounds surrounding it. The site was abandoned around 1050 AD and no remnants of the residents exist outside of the Toltec Mounds. Today, the site is still an active archaeological site in the home of Toltec Mounds Archaeological State Park. As for hauntings at the site, if an entire culture disappearing without a trace isn't creepy enough, many visitors to the site have reported the appearance of lights or orbs near the mounds, seeing ghosts and hearing footsteps around the site at night. Many of these findings have been caught on camera and video, and so many paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, and haunting enthusiasts have confirmed there is activity in the area. Whether it's from the Lost Society or not, we may never know. The mounds are open daily for visitors, with tours available to learn more about the history and hauntings in the area. In at number 3, we have the Allen House. The Allen House was built back in 1905 and was named after the original owner, Joe Lee Allen, where he lived in the home with his family for many years. Although Joe died in 1917, his wife Caddy stayed in the home with the 3 children Laddle, Lonnie, Lee, and Lewis. Sadly, Laddle took his own life in one of the bedrooms by drinking potassium cyanide, and it was unknown for many years for why she did it. After her death, her mother Caddy Allen kept the room completely closed off from the rest of the house. When Caddy passed in 1954, the property was split into rental apartments, and soon after renters moved in, they reported hearing footsteps and moans from the bedroom where Laddle died. In 1985, new owners bought the house and opened the bedroom, and it still contained the bottle of cyanide in a closet. The house changed owners twice, and in 2007, Mark and Rebecca Spencer purchased the Allen House and had a complete paranormal investigation done in 2008 because of the endless unexplainable instances. The investigators recorded over 40 voice phenomena and had their own paranormal experiences throughout their investigation. On August 22, 2009, Laddle's love letters were discovered in the attic floor. Over 90 letters detail her 1948 love affair, which ended with her taking her own life on Christmas night. After the owner Mark had experienced endless amounts of paranormal activity and discovering Laddle's love letters, he wrote a book called A Haunted Love Story. Nowadays, the home can be booked for tours explaining the history and the paranormal activity that goes on in the Allen House. During the Halloween season, it's open to the public from 6 to 11 p.m. for tours, and paranormal investigators and ghost lovers flock to hopefully experience Laddle's ghost that haunts the house to this day. In at number 2, we have Clayton House. The Clayton House is a historical treasure, but it's also one of the most haunted places in Arkansas. The home was originally built in 1852 by a man known as Mr. Sutton, and several years later, William Henry Harrison Clayton purchased purchased the house and renovated it, doubling it in size, transforming the style into Victorian Gothic Italianate. Mr. Clayton lived here from 1882 to 1897 with his wife along with their 7 children. The home still has old portraits of William and his wife Florence hanging on the wall and still had numerous priceless family belongings in the home. William had a twin brother, John K. Clayton, who was a US senator who had been mysteriously assassinated in 1873, and many believe his ghost is one that haunts the Clayton House. The second floor bedroom seems to have the most activity, and staff and visitors have reported hearing footsteps, boots stomping, and doors slamming, along with seeing apparitions. Music and singing have also been heard throughout the house. People who have visited this home have described seeing one ghostly apparition known as the Tall Man, who is dressed in all black, wears a hat, and walks angrily around. Another spirit often seen around the Clayton property is described as the woman in the brown dress. The woman is said to be peaceful and often just stands in one spot quite still. She is believed to be either Mrs. Clayton or possibly a nurse from the time the property was a hospital. The home became abandoned during the Civil War before it transformed into a Union Army hospital. There was a carpenter in 2007 who was doing some repairs on the home and took pictures before it started working, and when the pictures were developed, there was what appeared to be a woman in one of them. The home is now listed on the National Registry of Historic Places and holds tours of the home explaining the history and ghost stories. And finally, and at number 1 we have Crescent Hotel. The Crescent Hotel was built in 1886 and can be found in Eureka Springs. Due to the rich history, it has hundreds of tales of paranormal experiences and ghost sightings. The hotel has previously served as both a private girls' college and a cancer hospital, where Dr. Norman Baker claimed to have the cure for cancer. There are so many stories of ghost sightings, starting in room 218 where Michael, an Irish stonemason, who fell to his death when building the hotel. He's known to hang out in this room and is often seen. Theodora, a cancer patient who is known to be seen fumbling for her keys outside room 419, as well as tidying up for guests when they leave the room. Brecky, who passed away in the hotel, has been seen throughout the hotel, often bouncing a ball. Dr. John Fremont Ellis, the hotel's former in-house doctor in the 19th century, is often seen, or his cherry pipe tobacco is smelled near his former office, which is now room 212. Even the famed hotel cat Morris, who had been buried on the hotel property, is regularly seen and heard. A recurring phenomenon happens at a specific spot on the 3rd floor, where the hotel connects to an annex built onto the hotel when it was a hospital. The area has been said to be a portal to the other side. There have been multiple guests who have grown faint, with a few passing out frequently. Guests turning pale and falling against the wall and then sliding down. Many paranormal investigators believe that limestone has a special ability to absorb and release electromagnetic and psychic energies. Crescent Mounds in the hilltop the hotel sits on is predominantly limestone. The massive thick stones used for the body of the hotel were also made of limestone, and these factors may contribute to the amount of paranormal activity the hotel guests experience. The Crescent Hotel is dubbed America's Most Haunted Hotel and has been on many TV shows like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and Paranormal Witness. There have been an abundance of extraordinary experiences and have attracted the attention of paranormal investigators to study and research the hotel's supernatural activity. The hotel offers daily ghost tours to learn more about the ghost stories, sightings, and the history of the hotel.
Number 5 in this list is the Arkansas Highway 365. There is quite the tale that surrounds this highway in Arkansas, one that makes driving on it quite scary. Arkansas.com says, years ago a young man was driving down Arkansas 365 south of Little Rock when he saw a young girl on the roadside. He offered to give her a lift and draped his coat over her shoulders because she was cold and soaked from the rain. She gave him directions to her house. When the young man got out of the car and walked around to the other side to help her out of her seat, no one was there. Confused, the man walked up to the house and knocked on the door. A woman answered and she explained what had occurred. She said, "That young girl is my daughter who was killed years ago. She hitchhikes back home once a year." The young man then drove to the cemetery to see the young girl's grave. There he found his coat draped over her tombstone. This is just one of the stories of this young girl, but this happens, as the woman suggested, once a year. Once a year, a good Samaritan who is simply trying to help the young girl will be fooled into driving a ghost around for a few hours. I have no idea how that dude, after getting to the cemetery, was able to get in his car and keep driving after that. Like, the second I saw my coat dangling from the tombstone like that, I would immediately tapped out. I couldn't figure out what time of year this happens at, which is too bad, because then I could have warned you guys, but be aware that it will happen without fail at least once. So if you do see a young girl on the side of the road along this highway, definitely stop to help, but just know you might be picking up a ghost. Number 4 on this list is Mary Walters. The legend of Mary Walters goes hand in hand with the legend and haunting that surrounds Curran Hall. Arkansas.com says, currently the home of the Little Rock Visitors Information Center, the house was originally built by Colonel Ebenezer Walters for his young bride Mary. Mary Walters was never able to see the completed structure as she died in childbirth just before the house was finished. Grief-stricken, Colonel Walters left the state and the house was owned by several different people, some of whom have reported experiencing the presence of Mary Walters. Visitor center staff have also experienced eerie occurrences, including a picture coming off the wall and a coffee machine making coffee with no grounds or water present. Mary Walters apparently haunts this ground now and the areas surrounding it. Nobody really knows what it is that she wants, just that she's here all the time, haunting everyone and everything. I guess she must really be fascinated by the coffee maker though, because that's often a device that she haunts and messes with. Maybe just technology in general is something that gets to her. Considering she never got to see this building get finished, to see it now, totally finished, and also with literal futuristic stuff in it would be kinda crazy. Well, I guess normal stuff for us, but futuristic stuff for her. Either way, she isn't said to be a dangerous ghost, just an annoying one. Be wary if you ever end up at Curran Hall, Mary Walters might be watching. Number 3 on this list is the Clayton House. This has got to be one of the most haunted spots in Arkansas and has developed quite the legend around it. Arkansas.com says, originally serving as the residence for William Henry Harrison Clayton and his family, the Clayton House has also been home to several paranormal experiences. Director Martha Seiler and her employees steer clear of a bedroom on the second floor where the sounds of boots stomping and doors slamming have been heard. In Clayton's study, Seiler and her daughter have both seen an apparition of a woman with gray hair dressed in brown. A carpenter took some pictures while working on the house, and when he got them back, a woman appeared. Paranormal investigators have captured several recordings in the house, including one of a cat meowing and a man yelling an obscenity. When the public was invited on these investigations, a woman reported her hair being tugged and a man saw a person's face. Wow, so there is a lot going on here and a lot to break down. First off, we have the sounds that are coming from the second floor. Boots stamping on the ground and doors slamming. Is this potentially the ghost of William Henry Harrison Clayton expressing his disapproval of something? If so, what is he trying to tell us and why does he seem so mad? Second off, we have the woman who's appearing in the Clayton study. Who is she? Is she the wife of William? And what would have happened to her that has caused her ghost to stay here? I imagine it must have been something pretty tragic. Then we have a carpenter taking pictures and a woman show up in them who wasn't there. Is this the same woman who was in the study, or is this a different woman entirely? And finally, we have some paranormal investigators capturing literal recordings of the ghosts and ghouls who reside here. Also, they captured a cat, too. Don't know if that was just a cat or a ghost cat, or like what the cat has to do with it, but now we have to factor that into this mess of a place as well. One big circus of ghosts is what this house is, and the thing that has stumped everyone is why. From my research, I couldn't find any horrific tragedies that went down here, it's just an old house. I guess sometimes it really do just be like that, and this place was just meant to be haunted. Number 2 on this list is the Allen House. What is it with Arkansas and these creepy houses, man? And they all have creepy names too. Like the Allen House, who the heck would want to stay at the Allen House? Anyways, Arkansas.com says, built in 1906, the Allen House is located along North Main Street and features Gothic-style architecture and wrought iron fencing. The house was planned by local businessman Joe Lee Allen to be the most impressive house the town had ever seen. Unfortunately, in December 1948, the family experienced a grave tragedy. Their daughter, Liddell, consumed mercury cyanide-laced punch in the house's master suite. Out of grief, her mother sealed off the room and it would not be entered by anyone for nearly 4 decades. During its time as an apartment building in the 1950s, tenants would report eerie occurrences including hazy figures appearing in photographs, furniture being unexplainably rearranged, and several reports of a lady sitting in a turret window. So at least with this house we have a reason as to why it's haunted. In the last one we didn't even know, there wasn't anything clear. I think this one is pretty clear and obvious though. Liddell took her own life in the master suite and the mother completely sealed off that room, effectively trapping any spirit or paranormal energy in there. Such a tragic story that you never want to hear. Now, we can't forget that story either because the paranormal events, and I'm assuming Liddell's spirit, keeps haunting this place. Avoid the Allen House altogether if you're ever in Arkansas. And finally, number 1 on this list is Ghost Mountain. This is definitely the sickest and most twisted story on this list for sure. Arkansas.com says, a tragic story surrounds a mountain southeast of Drake Field Airport in Fayetteville. In the 1930s, a man came home to his wife and child after a long night of drinking. His wife had been up all night caring for the sick child whose incessant crying had made the inebriated father furious. In his anger, he grabbed the baby, stumbled outside, and threw the child down their well. His wife grabbed the well's rope in an attempt to save the baby, but the father cut the rope, leaving the wife and child in the well. The father left town never to be seen again. Reports have been made that a woman's screams and a baby's crying can still be heard in this location. If this story is true, then my god, this father rivals the most sick and twisted individuals to ever walk this earth. I don't care how drunk you are, to take your kid and to throw your own child, your own flesh and blood into a well, and then have your wife follow that child, and to leave them there. This is the scum of the earth, guys. It's no wonder this place is haunted based on an event like this. My heart just goes out to that child and that wife, and hopefully one day their souls can find peace. Number 5 on this list is the Empress of Little Rock. The Empress of Little Rock, that just sounds imposing, man. Like a mission in Red Dead Redemption 2 or something like that. Arkansas urban legend says, originally built as the most extravagant dwelling in the state by wealthy saloon keeper James H. Hornibrook, the house currently operates as the Empress of Little Rock, a luxury bed and breakfast. Several paranormal encounters had been witnessed by former owner Robert H. Blair, workers, and guests. Blair saw a period-dressed gentleman complete with top hat floating down the stairs. While restoring the secret poker room in the attic, hired painter Timmy Watts found himself locked out even though no handle or lock was on the door yet. When he returned with a screwdriver to let himself back in, Watts saw that the door was now open and the same image of a man that Blair previously witnessed appeared before him. That is one frightening story from Watts there. The door gets locked even though it literally physically cannot get locked, and then it gets unlocked and you see a man appear before you. Very questionable. Also, just the fact that you were also in the secret poker room in the attic as well. Like, you already know that some shady stuff probably went down up there after hours. I imagine that those walls have been host to some very questionable activities themselves. Either way, this place is super haunted. Lots of the locals don't ever stay here anymore for fear of what could be lurking here. They tell the newcomers about it, but oftentimes the newcomers don't heed their warnings and go there anyways. Usually, after they've done so, there's deep regret that's filled inside of them. Pretty much everybody that goes and stays here wishes that they hadn't. Number 4 on this list is the Mount Holly Cemetery. I feel like every state, every province, every country, every region, pretty much everywhere has got to have their own urban legend about a haunted cemetery. Like, there's always one place where there've just been too many strange occurrences. Well, Arkansas is no different, and they have their own cemetery with legends surrounding it. Arkansas urban legend says, located at Broadway and 12th Streets in Little Rock, Mount Holly Cemetery is the final resting place for many notable people. Several reports of paranormal sightings and photographs taken at the property have been made, including apparitions of people dressed in period clothing and bright lights and mists. Some visitors have claimed that statues have been mysteriously relocated to the lawns of nearby houses. The sounds of a flute echo have also been heard, and trinkets and small items have been known to appear and disappear around the graves. I wonder what that flute echo is. Could it be some sort of spirit who just really likes the flute? What if it's something more sinister than that? The flute has often been tied to some pretty bad and devilish demons before. Is it possible that one of these creatures is afoot and using this flute to perform some sort of bad ritual? I would ask you guys to be the judge for yourselves, but that would mean that you'd probably need to go to this place, which I highly recommend not doing. Number 3 on this list is the 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa. Well, this sucks, guys. A nice spa and hotel ruined once again because of ghosts ghosts and a pesky urban legend. Arkansas urban legend says the legendary 1886 Crescent Hotel and Spa is one of the most popular haunted Arkansas destinations. Visitors can stay overnight and take tours revealing the secret underground passages, the property's old morgue, and hear the multitude of hauntings that have been reported throughout the years. The most well-known ghost of the Crescent is Michael, a stonecutter who helped build the hotel and who fell to his death at the location of room 218. Michael is said to have been a womanizer who often got in trouble for flirting with the ladies. Room 218 is now the Crescent's most requested room. Another paranormal guest of the hotel is Dr. John Fremont Ellis, former hotel physician. Dressed in top hat and fine clothing, he's been seen on the staircase from the second floor to the lobby, and smoke from Ellis's tobacco pipe is sometimes smelled near the elevator. Look out for a disappearing pool of blood, a resident morgue ghost around the autopsy table, and more eerie sightings. Oh yeah guys, just casually look out for that disappearing pool of blood and dead ghosts that's out and about. No big deal. Oh, and also the ghost of a doctor who just walks around and does weird haunted crap. Totally cool, man. All very casual. Yeah, that's a big no, everybody. Spas are supposed to be relaxing. There is nothing relaxing about doctors and dead people and blood. I'll get my massages elsewhere, thank you very much. Number 2 on this list is the Toltec Mounds. Once again, we have another creepy name that could be a Red Dead Redemption 2 mission. Arkansas urban legend says, known to some as the Stonehenge of Arkansas, the mounds and earthen embankments present at Toltec Mounds Archaeological State Park are remnants of the Plume Bayou culture, not the Mexican Toltec or Aztec tribes as the name suggests. The Plume Bayou people built 18 mounds to serve as a ceremonial, religious, governmental, and social complex, with at least one serving as a burial mound. Archaeological digs at the site have uncovered items that cannot be traced to other Native American cultures, and also have suggested that the Plume Bayou people simply disappeared with no trace of where they went or why they left. Visitors to the present-day park have claimed to see lights, orbs, and even ghostly apparitions of ancient people. At night, footsteps have been heard around the existing mound site. I have no idea what those orbs are or who they're coming from, but I don't want any part of it, folks. Clearly, there is a deep spiritual energy at this place that does not want to be messed with. By having all these warning signs, we should know that by now. I think that we should listen to it and stay away. And finally, number 1 on this list is the natural steps. The Earth is a big place, and seeing that it's such a big place, occasionally it makes some pretty cool geological things. Sometimes these weird occurrences, though, are a bit too strange for anyone's liking. Arkansas urban legend says, a unique geological formation along the banks of the Arkansas River, Natural Steps is a small town with an unsettling history of buildings, structures, and people disappearing. Days after a local couple's wedding atop the Natural Steps, the groom perished from a sudden and mysterious illness. Overwhelmed with grief, the widow disappeared after the funeral, many believe by committing suicide by jumping off the Natural Steps. Residents and visitors alike have since reported seeing a woman in white strolling within the town. During the Civil War, Confederate forces are believed to have sunk their own gunboat containing vast sums of gold in order to keep Union troops at bay. 3 Confederate soldiers died during the explosion, and their graves can be found in the town cemetery. Legend has it, on moonlit nights, the ghosts of the 3 soldiers march in a single file line to the Arkansas River to uncover their hidden treasure. So we have multiple things going on at these steps / town / urban legend hell spot. We have a groom who has apparently taken their own life. Then we have his wife, who apparently haunts the area now because she's really upset about her groom who took his own life. Then we have Confederate soldiers wandering about because of some gunboat that went under in a big explosion. And then when the moon is out, apparently these soldiers decide that they want to go treasure hunting and go walk about to find it. This is just one big symphony of creepy. The only time I'd recommend going to this spot is when the moon is fully out, just to see if you can find the treasure, but even that is a big risk.